Asanteni sana. Maseno strong. Haya, tuketi chini. Bishop Emeritus, Bishop Wesonga, and the clergy, fellow leaders, Maseno School parents, students, and well-wishers. There are schools that educate students, and there are institutions that shape the destiny of a nation. Maseno School belongs to the latter category. Some 120 years ago, when this institution was founded, the Republic of Kenya, as we know it today, did not exist. There was no independent state, no national flag, and no constitution. Yet, here at the foothills of Mabungo Hills, along the border of present-day Kisumu and Vihiga counties, the foundations of what would become a towering institution of academic excellence were already being laid. For 12 decades, Maseno School has stood not merely as a center of learning, but as a living monument to the enduring power of education, discipline, leadership, service, and nationhood. Generations have passed through its gates, carrying the hopes of families, communities, and a nation searching for its place in history. Empires have risen and faded. Governments have changed. Political seasons have come and gone. Yet, Maseno has endured, producing leaders, scholars, clergy, scientists, public servants, and patriots who helped shape Kenya and East Africa into what we are today. This anniversary, therefore, is not merely a celebration of longevity. It is a celebration of continuity, institutional excellence, and national memory. Ladies and gentlemen, as one of the oldest formal institutions of learning in Kenya, established in 1906 by missionaries of the Church Missionary Society, Maseno occupies a unique place in the educational and historical journey of our nation. I am amazed, but also encouraged by the courage of J.J. Willis, who traveled to the unknown, had the courage to come all the way to Mabungo Hills here and set up this great institution. It reminds us that with the same courage, we can take this institution to the next 120 years. What began with six sons of African chiefs gathering under the shade of the Maseno tree has evolved into one of the most distinguished educational institutions in the African continent. The name Maseno is derived from the hickory tree, scientifically known as kaya, but locally called Oseno in the Luo and Oluseno in Luya, a fitting symbol for an institution whose roots runs deep and whose legacy has endured across generations. From its earliest years, Maseno embraced not only academic instruction, but also practical and technical education in fields such as masonry, carpentry, and tailoring, reflecting a philosophy of education that sought to prepare young people, not merely for examinations, but for life, service, and leadership. This vision is fully aligned with the transformative reforms we are implementing under the competence-based education and training. Our goal is to nurture every learner according to their unique talents, abilities, creativity, and aspirations, so that no child is confined by a one-size-fits-all model of education. We are building an education system that empowers young people to discover their true potential early and pursue career pathways that fully harness their gifts, whether in science, in technology, in engineering, mathematics, the arts, sports, entrepreneurship, agriculture, or other technical fields. In an increasingly competitive and innovation-driven world, Kenya's future prosperity will depend on our ability to produce not only academics, but also problem solvers, innovators, creators, researchers, and ethical leaders capable of transforming our nation and positioning Kenya and Africa at the forefront of global progress. I say this against the background that from today, Kenya will be hosting the French Africa Summit, named Africa Forward. From tomorrow and the next 2 days, 30 heads of state from Africa and elsewhere will be in our country. Speaking to the contribution that knowledge, education, and leadership, so that we can position our country appropriately for the future, not just of our nation, but our continent as well. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 120 years, Maseno School has benefited from the visionary educators and administrators, among them the renowned Edward Carey Francis, whose contribution to education in Kenya remains legendary. Today, the story of Maseno School is inseparable from the story of Kenya. I have been taken around this institution, and I have encountered sites that are not only merely school landmarks, but important monuments of our national heritage. I have seen the historic Maseno tree, under which the first 6 students began their journey. I have visited the house where the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga lived while teaching here between 1943 and 1945. And I have also seen the chapel, built in 1906, at the very dawn of this institution's existence. These are not ordinary places. They are living chapters of Kenyan history. I therefore commend the successive boards of management, principals, teachers, and alumni, and the wider Maseno community for preserving these historical landmarks for future generations. Nations that preserve their history preserve their identity. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of Maseno School are known and respected across Kenya, Africa, and the world. This institution has produced distinguished leaders in public service, academia, science, diplomacy, business, religion, and public life. Among its illustrious alumni are Kenya's first Vice President, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, renowned scientist, Professor Thomas Odhiambo, Barack Obama Sr., Professor David Wasau, Professor Ruben Olembo, freedom fighter Achieng Oneko, and many others whose contributions continue to shape our society. But perhaps Maseno's greatest distinction is not simply the prominence of its alumni. It is the culture of excellence the institution has sustained across generations. I am very, very proud to know that Maseno, in its 120 years, has not participated in any strike. That is phenomenal. While many schools rise and fall with seasons and circumstances, Maseno has consistently remained among the leading centers of academic excellence in Kenya. That consistency is not accidental. It is the product of culture, discipline, institutional pride, and unwavering commitment to excellence. When the student president here, Chris, spoke, I saw a fine gentleman. Measured in every way, but focused. And he gave a very good account of the student fraternity in this school. Discipline, humility, and excellence. Congratulations, Chris. As government, we do not regard investment in education as an expenditure. We treat it as the most strategic investment we can make in the future of our nation. Education is not a luxury. Education is the engine that drives social mobility, economic transformation, innovation, and national progress. It is the foundation upon which the destiny of every great nation is built. And that is why I am very proud of what we have achieved in the last 3 years. We had serious challenges in the space around education. We had a chronic problem with CBC. We had a chronic teacher shortage. We had a problem with learning spaces. And of course, we had a problem with funding that limited the ability of especially our institutions of higher learning at the college and the university to be able to deliver quality education. In the last 3 years, working with all partners, working with parents, working with teachers and students and other stakeholders, we have managed to consolidate gains around education. The crisis that there seemed to be 3 years ago is slowly settling. We have engaged broadly, widely, and deeply with stakeholders on aligning our curriculum. And we have finally settled on the competence-based education and training